Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another LEGO build. So last time we added some lights to the modular museum, Mills plated it, and got a custom sidewalk going. Today we're going to be doing a light kit for the corner garage, which is the last video, or at least the last addition to the city in terms of buildings or modular buildings. So I'm very excited to get this already finished up with in June. If you haven't seen my original video and you're just here for the light kit, I run wires typically through Mills plates, so there's actually a little hole for a wire here, and it actually comes out the back side, which wires the entire city block of light kits and all that good stuff. So if you're curious why there's a wire and stuff like that, or a creative way to hide them, that is definitely one of the ways that I've found to be pretty productive. And then basically, I do something a little bit different with a lot of these light kits. I typically run a cable out through them, like a 30 to 50 centimeter little connection cable. Either Light My Bricks or Bricks Max are the two companies that I use. They're both universal, so either of which works fine. And I trace one out of here into an expansion port that is sitting behind the museum and the bookshop, and of course the corner garage and apartment building. So just a little, I think it's 8 ports. I'm probably going to raise it to 12 here soon. Just because the city is growing very rapidly, and while I don't need any more real light kits for this spot, just because this is obviously going to be the last piece in this row, aside from the Avengers Tower, which is this whole project, and then the Haunted House is kind of just like a temporary piece, so I don't know if I'm really adding too many lights to that, but without rambling on too much, this is the Light My Bricks kit. This does retail for $90. They did a May the 4th promo, and I got this for about 50 to 60 bucks, so much nicer than it originally, that $90 price tag. This is like my 11th lighting kit build on this channel, something like that. The corner garage is beautiful, and I wanted to wait a little bit between the museum and this one just to kind of spread out the content, so there might be some in between, there might not. I'm honestly not 100% sure yet, but I did want to get this started nonetheless, just because I hate having one unlit building in that row. It's just driving me nuts. But yeah, the two brands that I typically recommend are Light My Bricks, and actually my favorite is Bricks Max, but they don't have all of them in stock and vice versa, so I do try and mix and match a little bit, but those are the two brands that I typically stick with. Light tailing is obviously a very popular one. I just despise how they do their wiring, but if you want the most budget-friendly option, light tailing is out there. Bricks Max is considered the in-between. There's also Game of Bricks, which I've never tried, but I've heard some pretty decent things about. And then there's Light My Bricks, which is generally considered like the premium group, but they feel very similar to Bricks Max, but I actually dislike their instructions a little bit more. So depending on where the sales flow and what's in stock and what's been discontinued, I do bounce back and forth between them. If you're interested in the other lighting videos or anything to do with my city, I will link playlists below. Feel free to check out all of them. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. It helps the channel out a lot. There's been a lot of fishing over Legos in terms of popularity for the channel, so I wasn't sure how fishing would do. Sigma's added it this year, but it's doing great along with these light kit videos, and it's been a real fun year so far. If you're a big fan of Harry Potter, I do have a ton of Harry Potter stuff that I'm currently working on, and a lot of stuff for the future. And I'm recording this in May, about halfway through. I'm typically about 2 to 4 weeks ahead on a lot of these builds and videos, just so I can actually get some editing and actually enjoy a lot of the builds and not be rushing. The Tower of Barad-dûr, or from Lord of the Rings, aka the Eye of Sauron, has been announced as of today, and God bless my bank account in June, because it's going to get ugly. So look forward to the Eye of Sauron and a bunch of Lord of the Rings stuff coming soon. I'm actually spending my time outside of building this, kind of figuring out where I'm going to put it, because I really don't know. I'm debating moving the entire boardwalk behind me and moving that actually to its own area of the city and rebuilding a lot of that, and then maybe doing the Eye of Sauron in the background with a huge Lord of the Rings battle display. That is a very big maybe, and considering a battle display for Lord of the Rings would cost me a few $1,000s minimum, I'm not 100% sure yet. I love how the boardwalk looks, but that obviously is still something I'm looking to build into the city, maybe underneath eventually. So depending on the Lord of the Rings project and where I put that, it could wind up being a massive display in the background. So not to take away from the corner garage, I just want to talk to you guys about some of the new sets. I can't wait for the next modular building to get announced, but you know, that's obviously not going to be for a while. And this one is absolutely beautiful. So check out the rest of this video if you're interested in the corner garage or my current city. Now I'm going to start building this, and I'm trying to get better about showing off light kits. I kind of get to the end, and then I say, you know what, there's 300 wires in here. Very big exaggeration, but I don't want to rip them apart. So what I typically do is just show them from the outside and then show you guys how I connect them for anybody looking to start city building or start light building as well. And I always say light kits are extremely frustrating to put together, but it is very much worth the process. Just take a breath here and there. I have to tell myself the same thing every time I do one of these because it drives me nuts. And you know, big fingers and little wires don't always mix. So just bear with yourself, and that's why they make little light kit tweezers as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another build. Again, like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Feel free to become a member of the channel if you're interested in supporting it a little bit more. And thank you guys so much for everything you do for me. And I'll see you once the first floor is done, everybody. Alright everybody, so here's the first floor completely lit up. Underneath, which is pretty cool, we do have the little octane gas little post here actually lit up. The sign is a little bit crooked. I'll have to fix that. And then up above are a couple white strip lights as well to give that really glowing effect on the little driveway there. On this side, we of course have the yellow lamp, which is able to be seen from the inside and the outside because of that little clear border there, and I'll show you guys that from the inside in a moment. On this side of things, we have a couple of these lampposts here which are bright enough that you can tell just because of the hue on the outside that they're actually lit up. However, this lamp actually does a really too good of a job almost with showing off everything. So that is not my favorite detail in the world, just because it is hard to see them next to the lamppost, but it happens. Not everything's going to be the perfect lighting conditions. Then we do have a couple of these small little bit lights on the actual Joe's Garage sign. Of course, the inside is looking like a mess as usual. The 12-point conductor or expansion ports is going to be up top. Most of the wires are completely hidden. This wire looks a little bit out of place because it is actually running to the outside, and that is the piece I will be using to connect it to the other expansion port in the city. And then that's what I was talking about, that they have a little window above the doorway, and I think that looks really cool. You can see that yellow glow. Next, we'll be doing the second floor and, of course, adding lights to the above feature. The only thing I haven't done so far is adding lights to the truck, and I don't know if I will be. I don't really light up my vehicles. Maybe I will in the future, but probably not going to be done on this set. Yep. I'm trying to get better, like I said in the intro, about showing off each individual floor rather than all at once at the back end. So yeah, hopefully this gives a better look at what this is looking like. I'm also filming this at 1 in the morning after work, so that's why I might sound a little bit tired, but I love how this looks so far, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. Alright, so here is the look at the second and third floor completely lit up. I almost said fourth floor for some apparent reason. I didn't do floor by floor, like, just separately like I did the first floor, just because there is less lighting, since there's no lampposts, signs, or anything like that. On the inside, you can see that the veterinarian clinic is completely lit up, and there is a small light underneath on the balcony here. If we move up to the flowers, all of the flowers on top actually do have small lights in them as well as a small light in the balcony on this side. I'm working towards the final stage, which is the roof, which will obviously be in charge of lighting up the apartment, and then any extraneous lights up top. You can see Miss Mittens. Mittens, hello! She's getting ready to take a nap. She's had a rough day of napping and eating. She's wandering around in the background. But yeah, I love it so far, and this is an extremely bright set. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to see with the tripod on, but it looks fantastic so far. Alright, and then here's the final look overall at the final lighting kit. Before I put in the city, of course, I do want to go over just the last stage of details and show you from the front side what it looks like. On the top side, which is the only floor I didn't cover, is going to be 3 of these little 15 centimeter white bit lights. This one's a little bit harder to see just with this actual crescent on top of it, but I'm sure with the lights off you'll still be able to see it. Overall, this is probably the second brightest building. Oh well, maybe the apartment, but that's just because it's custom work and it's basically all translucent. But in terms of actual like standard lighting kits, I think only the Daily Bugle is going to be brighter. The Assembly Square might have more lights to it, but just the way that this open area shines, I think it is going to look fantastic. The one-way road, I've expanded it a little bit so you can see the kind of work in progress that is going to be going with this. This flower right here, I might swap. Like, I might peel this off and actually turn the light upside down. I'm not sure if this one's just facing the opposite direction or if that color just makes it extremely bright, but these are the exact same intensity of light, just slightly different colors, of course, on the outside, both using a pink 15 centimeter light, but overall, it does look fantastic. Of course, there's one wire that I can see from outside, but you know what? It happens sometimes. And there is one more piece of wire up here that you're going to be able to see, of course, just because it is run through the ceiling. And then on the back side of things, I actually have them just bundled up back here with one separate connector, one piece from the top, one piece from the middle, and that is going to power up this entire building using a 30 centimeter connecting cable. I will be plugging that into the main block that powers the entire city area. Then as for the minifigures, of course, there's an entire crew inside. I had the little girl that came with just waiting outside for the vet results. I have this guy, this bald guy here walking on over to see if his moped, which I forgot to put in there, is done at the shop just yet. We have an attendant to help out with the gas, and then, of course, one little smart car that is pulled in. Overall, it does look beautiful. Now let's put it in the city and see what it looks like. Alright, everybody, so here is the corner garage. It's obviously in its spot, but not lit up just yet. I want to turn off my ring light tripod here and then power up the city just to get the full effect. So we're going to go dark here for a second, right before the city lights up. And here we go. It is daylight outside. My blackout curtains don't get everything. But there is the full effect of the city so far. Obviously, you can't see every single light from this side. I will actually move the tripod a little bit further in a second, but obviously this is more about the corner garage than it is anything else. It looks fantastic from this point of view. It is definitely a huge focal point. That little corner custom building looks fantastic too, just with those couple of quick lights, and obviously that phone booth, but it looks awesome. I really do enjoy it. I'm gonna move my tripod to the side a little quick here and see if we can get a little bit of a better view. So sorry if this is nausea inducing, but here is a much better view of the actual city itself, completely lit up. That's with no other lights on in this room, just a little bit of natural sunlight. The Daily Bugle is obviously obscenely bright. The only thing we can't see lit up from here is it really, well, a little bit for the actual boardwalk, but that's obviously a separate project, is the museum, which I really do like the museum. I think it looks great and I'm glad it's done. It's just a little dull when comparing it to everything else. So I would say that's actually kind of my least favorite for now. You can't see, of course, like the bookstore and the pet shop just from this angle, but you can see the little bit of like the street lamps and everything too. The only thing that I really don't have lit up just yet is the lamppost right in between the Sit Complex and the Lego Corner Store. I do want to get that lit up eventually. I'm just waiting on actually ordering another lantern for it, and since I'm not 100% sure what building is going there, I'm kind of holding off doing anything custom just yet. The police station is likely the next building to get a light kit. For some reason my chair is squeaking. I guess my armrest is a little loose. I'm like, what is that? Thanks Secret Labs. But essentially that is probably the next lighting kit that's going to get done. The haunted house, still undecided if it's going to stay there. I'd say probably not, but we'll see. For now, it's at least a really cool placeholder, just with the chain in the back. I'm not a huge fan of it, just on that side. Moving it with all these light kits should be an experience and a half. I'm sure that won't be just insane. So of course, as of the buildings here, the only two essentially left are the police station and the Monster Avengers Tower, which I know is going to take this city to the next level in terms of lighting kits. So that's going to be awesome. But I am extremely happy with the corner garage lighting kit. It is actually, I think, my favorite. Assembly Square is kind of in that second place spot just because I love how it all comes together, especially with that water fountain, which you probably can't see from here. Might be able to see a little bit of the flashing, but that's going to be it. And then, of course, the Daily Bugle lighting kit's amazing. The billboards are a little bit annoying. That adhesive stuff just isn't sticking, so I do have to fix them. I just had to fix them right before this video, and now I can see a wire, so that'll drive me insane until I fix it. But I am really happy with it. I would say that's definitely top three, along with the Daily Bugle and Assembly Square, depending on what you're into. Obviously, you might have a different favorite. The apartment complex is, yes, I know, very bright compared to the rest of the buildings, but since it is custom work and it's all just translucent windows, you know, you do what you got to do. Now, depending on when this video airs, and I'm working on my June schedule right now, this is originally scheduled for like June 10th, I think. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I can pull it up. June 8th would be June 8th to 10th, depending on a fishing video gap in there, would be when this is coming out. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be June 10th. It could be. Could be 8th. Could be the 20th. It could be the end of June. I'm not 100% sure yet, just because with the Barad-dûr and Lord of the Rings project coming out, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that. And then, of course, that boardwalk behind me could be gone next time you see it. So depending on what all happens here, this setup could be very different. Depending on when this video actually airs. I am about a month ahead on recording. I'm filming this mid-May for mid-June, essentially. So, given that month period, I am going to have to start pushing some of these projects back, even if they're already finished, just to keep my schedule going. Especially with how well all the fishing videos are doing, and I see the little smart car has rolled forward, so I'll have to fix him in a second. He's kind of crashed into the hand truck there. At least he missed the Shell employee walking front. That is just going to about do it for this video, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll have links to my Instagram and stuff in the description below if you're interested in checking out some of the more of the upcoming projects. Some projects I'm not really filming. Redoing the city, you get sneak peeks at everything as well. I'm trying to be more responsible about posting on Instagram, but I'm just terrible at it because I'm not a big social media guy. I do still want to add maybe a lantern to the museum, but I am waiting to do the Avengers Tower, which is probably going to be my final project really for down here. At least with the current setup. I still want to do the Palace Cinema right here with the 12 Grimwald Places, just because that is the set I chose for there. And then eventually the Grand Emporium will replace the apartment. But again, with the Lord of the Rings project coming up, I'm doing the Helldivers 2 project, which actually I don't think I talked about. Depending on when this airs, could be before or after. This is all kind of going on at one time. And then, of course, the Giant Hogwarts project is still in full force. If I'm moving this beach project, it could go up top to like the second level. So I'm not 100% sure. I got tons of projects, and I'm already working on stuff into July that I'll be scheduling. So very busy here in the Lego room, but I think it's going to be worth it. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Check out the rest of my lighting videos. I'll have everything linked in the description below. Follow any of the cards that I place on the way through too, and I'll see you next time. Happy building, everybody.